So I have a confession to make. If you saw my New Year's intention video and my last grocery haul, which I think was a week or so ago, you'll know that I want to try and budget and be more frugal with our household outgoings this year, and that's particularly when it comes to groceries. The main way I thought I'd do that was shopping in Aldi, not doing an online grocery shop, and making sure that I stop nipping back and forth to the shops and spending £20 when I only went in to get milk, that kind of thing. However, I was away this weekend and I panic booked myself a slot with Tesco just because I knew I'd already be chasing my tail because I'd been away for the weekend, so I wouldn't have done all my jobs that I would normally get done in that time. I knew that Monday would be spent sorting myself out, editing a video to go up on Monday, planning my week and just catching up basically. So I ended up booking myself a Tesco grocery slot for delivery, and I ended up spending probably around £40 more than it would have cost me in Aldi. So to try and get myself back on track, what I thought I would do was meal plan for the next fortnight, just main family meals, not lunches and breakfast and stuff, because I know I'll need to pop out to get more milk and lunchbox bits. But main family meals, I'm going to plan them for 2 weeks. So that will take me to the end of January, and my intention is that I won't need to do another big food shop in that time. So I can try and claw back what I would have saved going to Aldi and what I spent going to Tesco instead. I can try and spread that larger grocery shop bill a bit more frugally over the next 2 weeks, if that makes any sense at all. So what I thought I would do is show you how I meal plan, how I'm intending to fill those 2 weeks with a mixture of what I already have in my cupboards and in my fridge and freezer, and the new things that I bought when I panic shopped on Tesco. So if you like the sound of that and you fancy meal planning for the remainder of the month, then hopefully you will find this useful and you can plan along with me. If you're not planning to do a meal plan for the rest of the month yourself, hopefully you'll just enjoy hearing what we're going to have, getting some recipe inspiration, and I'll be sharing some of my meal planning tips along the way as well. If you're new around here, I'm Kate, and I'm apparently a really terrible Aldi shopper, and I like to cave and do my grocery shopping online. I have 4 children, and on this channel I talk about my life as a mum, parenthood, tips, advice, meal planning, cleaning, grocery hauls, day in the life vlogs, you name it. I probably make videos on it, so if you like what you see, I'd love to have you stick around. So the first thing I do when I'm meal planning is to do a bit of a stock check of what I have in the fridge, freezer and cupboards, work out what I can make from that, what else I need to get to be able to make the meals that I want to do for the family and that kind of thing. So I'll show you what I've currently got in my kitchen. The fridge is looking very sad and in need of a clean, but more importantly, we just don't have anything. We have a load of leftover drink from Christmas, so we have wine and champagne and a lot of cider, which neither Dan or I like, in the vegetable bit. I have quite a bit of leftover veg, so I'll definitely be doing something with all of that so it doesn't go to waste because it's still fine. So not a lot going on there. The cupboards aren't looking too bad, a little bit random with some Christmas leftovers in here, but we're pretty well stocked on cereal, as you can tell. We have lots of these shreddies. Don't know why all the boxes have been opened, but we've got 3 boxes of shreddies there, which is like the kids' main cereal. Marnie has Weetabix, so we're fine for that. The custard is a lunchbox thing that I always stock up on, so I've got plenty of those. That is a giant Reese's peanut butter cup that if Dan doesn't eat, I definitely will. And yeah, we've got some juice cartons, plenty of my Oatly milk, and that's a emergency almond milk juice cartons at the top. And then down here we've got lots of open bread, which I need to check is still okay, but that can stay in there, and I just need to stock up on a few bits and pieces for that cupboard. This cupboard is pretty well stocked. I've got some porridge. I've got more actually up here that I haven't opened yet. That was from Aldi in last week's grocery shop, or the week before. And I've got some leftover in there as well, so plenty of porridge for me. Then I can see I've got lots of mismatched pasta up here, which really bugs me. It's the kind of thing that I'll think, oh, I haven't got enough of that type of pasta to make for everybody, so I'll open a new bag and then I end up with lots of little bits. So I'm going to try and make an effort to use that up as well. Then we have plenty of rice. I actually have some more up there in a bag, but that is the jar that I empty it into. This is my orzo jar. We use orzo quite a lot with slow cooker meals and for like risotto type dishes. The kids love it. That's empty, so I need to buy some more of that. Then we have plenty of baking bits and pieces, flour for sauces and stuff. Then I have loads of eggs. I actually have 2 big boxes. That one's about half full and that one's completely full, so I definitely don't need eggs this week. And here is my pull-out, like, pantry cupboard, I suppose. More Christmas stuff, pickled onions. I have some chickpeas that I haven't got around to using yet, so I'll do something with them. Plenty of like peanut butter and spreads and stuff. Some baked beans, which is always handy to have for kids' dinners. And for Dan, actually, he really likes beans on toast, and so do I, so that, I thought I had 2 of those. I'll have a look, see if I've got another one. I've got some chopped tomatoes, that'll be useful for something, and I think I've got some passata at the back there, so I'll definitely make sure I plan to use those this week. Sorry about the noise in the background, by the way. That is Marnie watching some like nursery rhymes on the TV. Then we've got some custard. I don't know why I bought that. We have pots of custard for Dylan. Maybe it was for Christmas, I'm not sure. So that's taking up quite a lot of space, so I'm going to try and use that. And these are bits that have been there for ages and I really should either sort out or use. That's some bulgur wheat and quinoa, some jelly, lasagna sheets, 2 boxes of, so maybe a lasagna might be a good option for this week. Then down here at the bottom I've got some spare cereals and granola and porridge and things, so I know we are absolutely fine for cereal for at least the next couple of weeks. The one on the other side of the cooker is all herbs and spices and oils and sauces and things, so I don't think I need to replace anything in here this week, except I do need some extra curry paste for a recipe that I have in mind. But other than that, we're pretty well stocked for this kind of thing. So the freezer's looking pretty chock-a-block. This is all I tend to use, is this little freezer compartment at the top. So there are definitely things in here I can use up for the next couple of weeks. This is something I bought for Dan. He likes these little like microwave pizzas, so I've got some of those in there so he can have that as an easy lunch on the weekend if he wants to. But I've got these breaded chicken steaks. They've been in there a little while, so I'll try and use them this week. I've just got a big thing of ice. I think that's a box of like potato waffles that's been there for a long time, so I'll try and use those up. This is some chicken that I bought from Aldi and I was worried it was going to go out of date, so I popped it in the freezer. So I'm going to try and defrost that and use that this week, maybe with salads or some sort of couscous dish. So yeah, that'll be a good one as well. Then I have some leftover chicken goujons at the bottom, some, I think they're chicken thighs. So I've got some extra chicken there as well. Some soybeans, which I always have in the freezer because I put them in lots of things. Some mince pie ice cream, which I feel is wrong to eat now that Christmas is so far gone, but it is delicious, so I might get over that. And then at the back, I have no idea, so I might have a good delve around in there and see if there's anything else I can use. Yeah, so that's my freezer. So now I've been through my cupboards and my fridge and freezer, I've got an idea of what kind of things I could be making. There are also a few recipes that have caught my eye over the last week or so, either on YouTube or Instagram, or just things that I fancy. So I'm going to sit down now with some paper and a pen, write out the things that I fancy making, the things that I want to use up and make into meals, and just give myself a bit of an idea of what I want to make over the next 2 weeks. I tend to get inspiration for meals from Instagram and places like that, and YouTube recipes and channels that I follow, rather than cookbooks. I love cookbooks, I have loads, but I just don't flick through them anymore like I used to. I used to like sitting down and just looking at them and getting ideas that way. I find that I don't have the time to do that now, and it's just so much easier to save things on Instagram. If I'm scrolling, I've got like a saved collection of recipes that I like, so I will show you how I find inspiration that way. And I follow some great cooking channels on YouTube as well, which is somewhere that I tend to get lots of meal ideas from. So I will show you how I put together my meal plan. So I'm just writing down a list of meal ideas. The first ones I'm writing down are things I can make out of what I already have. Then I'll jot down some things I fancy making or trying new recipes this month, and then I will have a think about what the kids might like or Dan might particularly like, or anything that I've saved onto my Instagram food collection. I'll do those things and hopefully that will leave me with enough meals to last me until the end of the month. I also meant to say I always take into account what we've eaten in the last week or so that I'm not duplicating too much. I do have a habit of getting into a rut when it comes to meals and making the same thing over and over again, and I don't mind doing that with 1 or 2 recipes if they're things that the kids and Dan particularly enjoy. Like for instance, we have a slow cooker recipe, which I included in a video actually, I'll link it for you, which is a real favourite in this house. Everybody loves it. So I usually make that once a fortnight. And what else do I make quite often? And usually a chili or a Mexican dish too, because we tend to like those flavours. So apart from those things, I try and mix it up a bit. So I will take into account what we've eaten in the last week or so. So far, I've just made a list of the things that I want to use up that I found in my cupboards and my fridge. So I'm jotting down some ideas for that. And I've also jotted down a few new recipes that I want to try in the next couple of weeks. First of which is my friend Kerry Whelpdale's curry. She made it for us on the weekend. It's a lentil vegan curry and it was seriously delicious. So she's made a video on it actually, which I will link for you. So I'm going to try that one for sure. And she also made a video on Sunday with hidden veg shepherd's pie. So I think I might make that as well. The kids love, actually I'll do it as cottage pie because we prefer making it with beef rather than lamb. The kids love cottage pie and I love the idea of smuggling some more veg into that. So that's another one to add to the list. Right, so I've written them all down. I now have 14 meal ideas that will last me until the end of the month, and I shouldn't need to do another food shop again, which is what I'm aiming for. So here's my meal plan for the week. I've written it out on my iPad. I've had to split it down the middle because it only allows you to do 1 week. So this is week 1 and this is week 2. Sorry about the glare from the light as well. The light is terrible in here at the moment. So for Monday, I've got the lentil curry. Then Tuesday, spaghetti and meatballs with salad, feta and sweet potatoes on Wednesday. I'm planning to double up the curry recipe, and then with the leftovers, I'll just add some extra veg to it to bulk it out for a second meal. Then on Friday, I'm making pasta assisi, which is one of my favourite meat-free recipes. That is a really good one actually, and the kids love it as well. It's a chickpea pasta, so that might be a good one to do a video on if you fancy it. Then on Saturday, I've got chorizo frittata. I'll probably chuck some olives and peppers in there as well. Sunday, I'm going to do that chicken and bacon in the cider with some mash and veg. Then for the second week, I'm planning a cauliflower mac and cheese on the Monday, which is actually a really good way of hiding veg because it's quite hard to detect. So the kids like that one and we enjoy it as well. Then on Tuesday, I'm planning to make Kerry's cottage pie and double up again and put one in the freezer for the weekend. Then Wednesday, I'll do our good old faithful slow cooker chicken with orzo and broccoli. Thursday will be some falafel that I found in the back of the fridge, which is still in date. I'm going to do that with some halloumi and a chickpea salad. On Friday, we will have the chicken that I found in the freezer with some rice and veg, almost like a stir fry. Then on Saturday, I'm going to make a soup. I'm not entirely sure what recipe yet. I'm just going to see what I've got left and play it by ear. Then finally, on the Sunday, I'll use that cottage pie that I made earlier in the week with some veg. So that's generally how I meal plan for a family of 6 and what we're planning to have for the rest of the month. Hopefully we'll be able to stick to that and I won't end up going shopping again. That is the plan. A couple of tips actually that occurred to me as I was filming this. First off, if I'm doing my shop online, I try to avoid my favourite section because I find if I go on to that and they show me everything that I order time and time again, I will just mindlessly add things to my basket without thinking about it, thinking I might have run out of it, or I'll just get it in case, or I just do it out of habit. And I find that if I try and avoid my favourites, even though that does make it quicker, and if I'm in a rush, I will head straight to that section. But I prefer to be thoroughly prepared before with my meal plan. And the other thing I would say with meal planning is not to feel too stressed or restricted by it. If you start to feel really restricted by what you've planned and you're not flexible with it, then it starts to get not fun anymore. Even though I plan it out day to day, I don't stick to it religiously. So if on a Monday, if I've planned to have curry and I don't fancy it, then I'll have something else from that list and just tweak it a little bit. So I would say just try and stay flexible, don't get too bogged down in the detail. So I hope you enjoyed this and it was useful to you. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see some of the recipes that I've mentioned that I'll be making over the next 2 weeks. Just drop me a message in the comments and I'll film those too. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!